his performance and what he thought about how he did and what he thinks on what his future lies behold for him. So let's just get on some of the guys that don't know much about UFC. And before we get Brandon on the show, Dave and I both saw the fight. Thank you, everybody, for sharing the broadcast. Appreciate that. And for guys that don't watch UFC religiously, we do know the sport, but we don't watch it very often. Going into the fight, I know probably Dave wasn't just feeling the same way, but I was nervous for CM Punk. Probably the same way if Dave had Daniel Bryan moved to UFC or something like that. Was really nervous. I was all right, Bob Ruski. Appreciate you coming in here, dude. I was nervous for him. Again, hype, but nervous. I wasn't feeling very confident going into the fight for him. I don't know if it's just me, but it just doesn't. To me, CM Punk looks out of his element in the UFC. He just doesn't look like a UFC fighter. And it's nothing against CM Punk. It's nothing against his training staff because I know he's trained by the greatest, apparently. But it just seems like he's not in his element. He just doesn't seem like he's a UFC fighter. He looks like a Joe Schmo going into the octagon. And tonight, for instance, and I don't know if you guys have been catching his interviews the last couple of days, he said in his fights that, he wasn't nervous. He wasn't he was confident coming into the match. This first fight, he wasn't nervous. He had no nerves, nothing. He was just kind of like in a blank stance. And this time, he said he was nervous. He's fighting in front of his hometown. Kind of gave that whole little spill, and it just seemed like he just doesn't look like he fits the UFC crowd. The first round looked okay, but you could tell he was super gassed after the first round. And after that, you knew it was a game over for him. He got rocked pretty good, I believe, in the second round. And after that, it was just pretty much, what was his name? Was his name Mike Jackson?
Yeah.
Was pretty much just toying with him the rest of the night. It was bad, man. It was sad at one point. I'm just like, damn, man. Yeah, the guy was pretty much toying with CM Punk, and it was sad. It was tough to watch, and I just hope, and I just want to say I respect the F out of CM for having the guts to go in and hit throw. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we can all criticize CM Punk. We can all say he does not belong in the octagon, but you cannot deny this guy's heart and this guy's guts and this guy's balls for going into a fight like that against people that are 10 times better than him, and holding his own for the most part. But what did you think about this fight, Dave? Because you didn't see his first fight. What did you think of this one?
Yeah, I seen the first fight.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I found it online. But yeah,
Brandon.
First off, I want to say, hey, it takes a lot of guts to do what he did, and I personally did not think he was going to make it past the first round. So, I mean, he barely made it past the first round, but like you said, everything you said, I was completely thinking the same thing watching this. I'm like, it's like after 2 minutes, it seemed like he was already gassed after 2 minutes in the fight. I was like, yikes. I mean, and the guy, and you're right, it seemed like he wasn't even trying to really do anything to Punk. He was just trying to hold. It's like, it was almost like, I'm not saying he was told this. It was almost like Mike Jackson was told, okay, don't destroy him. Just let him last the whole round. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like to me. It felt like he was just being told, okay, let him hang around for 3 rounds and you'll get the win, basically. And he did. He dominated him the whole fight. Every time Punk tried to do something, he just pushed it off. I mean, Punk got him in. Punk had Jackson in like some kind of triangle choke at one point, like in second or third round, and he just pushes him right off of him. He didn't even do nothing. I mean, man, this dude just like is like, you ever fight like your little brother, or if you have a little brother or someone smaller than you? It felt like that. When he jumped on him, he's walking around the cage with him like a little baby. I mean, I was like, man, this was bad. I mean, and I give Punk all the credit in the world for doing this. It's tough to go out there and do that. I understand that. And Man, I give him credit for it, but that looked really bad. And that fight did not belong on the card. I'm sorry, the pay-per-view card. It
Yeah, it was tough to watch after the first round. After that, it was really tough to watch. Oh, so Brandon Catino is here, our fight analyst.
Yeah, what's going on?
I know you watched the fight tonight, so let's get some of your thoughts. What do you think of CM Punk? Maybe some positives, negatives, and do you think he should call it quits? Is it time for him to throw in the towel for MMA fighting?
I mean, well, first off, definitely a better showing than his first fight. He was definitely more relaxed, because in his first fight with Mickey Gall, he kind of just ran towards him. That's when Mickey Gall took him down, and that's when it was over. But in this fight, he came out more relaxed. Stood there. Tried to work his stand up, and he tried to stay true to his game plan, which was to get close to him and try to take him down. But it's just his takedowns just weren't there.
No, okay, so he's been training for a while. Can they train you on stamina, correct?
Yeah, I mean, stamina is a thing that a lot of people have trouble with. Like I'm telling you, it don't matter who you are. Maybe you have all the talent in the world, but stamina will make you a coward if you don't have it. Like it will let you know if you're in it or not.
Now, why? Because that seems to be his major downfall to me. There was some positives out of that first round, no joke. Like he took him down. Yeah. He caught him a couple of times with a couple of punches. Hey, what's up, Johnny Boys? Yeah, we just caught Johnny Bones. We just started. He caught him a couple of times, nothing too serious or nothing. But after that first round, you could tell body language wasn't good. He was tired. He was exhausted. He knew that if he didn't get him done in the first round, that he pretty much wasn't going to win this fight.
Yeah. Also, you got to notice too, in that first round too, Mike Jackson was catching him with some good shots. Like a lot of things that people don't really realize is it takes more energy out of you when you throw a strike and you miss. Like that gets you tired. And you saw like in that first round, he was throwing a lot of leg kicks and he was completely missing and spinning all the way around. Remember, your legs are longer and stronger than your hands, so that takes more energy for you to throw out. So he was throwing a lot of leg kicks and missing. So that's going to make him tired. And then plus two, Mike Jackson was throwing shots to his body. Body shots get you tired. They add up after a while. You know what I'm saying? After 5 minutes, and then plus two, he was trying to wrestle with him, trying to grapple with him. That too is going to get you tired. Basically like I said, he started out good. He was calm and cool, but then when they got up against the cage, he was kind of like he was just really like working hard, while Mike Jackson was just staying calm and cool. So like Mike Jackson was just allowing him to kind of just waste his energy while he just kind of stood there. So I'm saying like that's one of the things that he'll have to learn, is to work smarter, not harder. Like you got to know when to rest and when to go for it.
I agree with you on that. And even when I think he took him down even maybe one more time, and even then I'm like, oh shit, that's not a good spot for him, because he ended up getting on his back and he took a couple of more shots to the face, to the stomach. It was just not an overall good night for CM Punk. Now, if you're CM Punk, you see your first performance, fight number one, come out, fight number two, and you have this type of performance. What are your thoughts rolling in your head?
That's one of the things, like, I don't really know. Like, I mean, if I'm him and if I still have the itch, I'm doing it again. That's the thing. Like, a lot of people don't understand is like the guy wants to just do this. Like, he wants to fight. Like everybody gets on him about like his whole thing about being in the UFC. But what it was is that Dana White approached him and said, "Hey, why don't you come fight for us?" Because basically, like say, he saw it as a money grab too. It's like, hey, we'll put him on pay-per-view, we'll get different fans, we'll get more buy rates. But like CM Punk has said in that interview that I had sent to you from MMA Fighting, you know, after his first fight, he told Dana White, like, hey, I'm going to fight again. You know, it's either going to be with you guys or it'll be, you know, elsewhere. Like, he just wants to fight. So, I mean, I don't know if he is, you know, satisfied. He got his 2 fights in. This fight, he went all 15 minutes. So he's good. Or, you know, he might still have that itch, because it's one of those things where, like, you go with Punk, it's like, hey, you had a decent first round. You look good. You did some things well. And there's some things you got to work on. So, again, he could just take it where, all right, there's some things I got to work on. Let's, you know, do this again. Because also you got to remember, like Mike, like I said it in the chat room, but Mike Jackson even said it. It's like, hey, you got an amateur versus a pro. Like, Mike Jackson, yes, was 0-1 as a professional MMA fighter, but he had amateur MMA fights. He has boxing experience. He has kickboxing experience, you know, and I think he even won, like, the Houston Golden Gloves. So I'm saying, so the guy was a striker. Like, that's why you saw in the fight, he was piecing him up standing. He really could have finished him off if he wanted to, but he was just being calm and cool, like how he said. So the thing is, like, you got a guy in CM Punk who has no background really in anything whatsoever, supposedly, you know, no martial arts background or nothing. And it's not like he's some high athlete, you know, he was just a good worker, you know, from wrestling. And he decided to just get into this, and he's just following his dream. Now, the thing is just that he's just on the biggest stage for it. Like, if he would have went to a local, you know, promotion in like the Chicago area, nobody would be making a big deal about it. But it's because it's in the UFC. People want to say, oh, he doesn't belong. He should not do this and everything like that. But it's like, dude, who, like, you know, look at who he's going up against. He's not doing any. He doesn't have any amateur experience. Like, the real thing is, he should have did an amateur fight first. But, you know, the UFC said, hey, come hang with us. Let's make some money. We'll pay you. You know, he went with it. Why not? You know, you're going to get paid. You got to take care of your family. You know, he got his dog. He got his wife. You know, he still got to pay for it.
Yep.
You know, so, I mean, that's just the thing. Like I said, he could still say, yeah, I want to fight, but it just might not be with the UFC. But you can still see him fighting in a local promotion in the Chicago area, and I'm sure that place would probably still pack out, you know, from ticket sales and everything like that. So, I mean, he'll still make his money somehow if he wants to still continue to do this. Because, like he said in that interview, he did say that after this fight, he doesn't really know if he would want to continue, or, you know, if he would go back to wrestling. Because, like you said, you know, nobody has ever approached him, said, hey, this is the guy we got for you. This is how much we're gonna pay you. What do you say? You know, nobody's ever said anything to him, you know? So, like I said, I don't really know. You know, I'm not in his camp. I don't know what's up. So all I can say is I can see him saying, yeah, you know, I did some good things. Let's continue this journey. You know, it just might not be with the UFC. Or he could say, hey, you know what? I'm done. I'm just going to chill and do comic books again or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. After tonight, I think it might be time for him to.
But see, that's what I'm saying. That's because, see, again, like, we're looking at it where it was like he's on a professional level, but in reality, the guy really is an amateur. He has no combat experience. It's not like he's ever done boxing before, kickboxing before, wrestling before. I mean, like, from what I was like, I guess I want to say it was a rumor, but sometimes I feel like it's not true. But it was because I had heard when he was wrestling, like, you know, and he had his free time, he would go, I think, to a jiu-jitsu school, and he would roll around. And I heard he was decent. Like, I heard he was at a blue belt level with his jiu-jitsu. Because that's why I remember like there were a couple of fighters who actually like spoke up for him and said, like, nah, CM Punk is legit, you know. So that's what I'm thinking, like, all right, maybe he does have some jiu-jitsu background. That's why I think the fight was, hey, you know, that's why the game plan for this fight was, hey, let's get him down and let's, you know, try to be on top of him. But just when he finally got him down, he was just too tired to do anything.
What's up, Jericho?
You know?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. I agree with you. He was exhausted.
I think that was more.
But my thing is like, what if we saw CM Punk against a true amateur, like somebody else who was just starting out like him, how would he really be doing? How would he really seem? Because you know, he could have been he could have been winning. You know, he could be 2-0 as an amateur right now, but we don't know because we never got to see that. We got him against true professionals, guys who've had amateur experience and pro experience. You know, it's not like he's fighting anybody at his same level, you know?
That's very true. What were you gonna say, Dave?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think the whole jiu-jitsu thing with CM Punk was probably storyline-wise, but I do know, because I've seen it, not to change the subject or anyone else, I do remember seeing Daniel Bryan working with Randy Couture before. So I don't know if CM Punk ever did anything like that with anybody, guys like that, but I do remember that part of it, seeing Bryan and Couture working together, because I remember Bryan said he was working on that before. But, I mean, with Punk, I mean, man, I mean, it's tough. I mean, I don't think the fight looked good at all. I mean, there might you could say he lasted long. I mean, maybe there's some positive there. He might look at it positive, like, hey, okay, but man, this fight really, it did not belong on the card. I don't think, I get it, because CM Punk's a draw, and he's a big name, that's why it was on there. And there was a big uproar about Alistair Overeem not being on this card and being on the prelims. Yeah. So there was a big uproar. A lot of UFC fans were pissed off about that. And I mean, I'm not saying boxing would be easier for him, but it might have been the better route to start out with just boxing, because it's not so quick pace like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm wrong by saying that.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say also too. I mean, you can look at it for CM Punk as a positive. Is like, you gotta think about like we've been saying, right? He has no like he doesn't have the same striking experience as Michael Jackson does, and he could take it to him and say, hey, Michael Jackson has all this striking experience, but he didn't finish me. I made it all 15 rounds.
Dude, that's so weird that you said that.
He could say like, man, what if I had more training? What if I had more training? I maybe could have took him. I could have beat him. I could have took him down, or maybe in the beginning, you know, he was catching him with some shots. You know, he could have said, hey, you know what? Maybe if I would have just turned my hips a little more on my right hand, I could have caught him. I could have put him down. You know, so I'm saying, like he could take a lot of positive out of this fight.
Yeah, I don't think CM Punk is like, he's not ready for this. He's not. I mean, he's been doing this, for 4 or 5 years? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but I mean, I know he's had, like, in that previous interview that I sent to you guys, he did have an injury. You know, I think, like I said, like, it's one of those things where timing isn't on his side. Like, you know, I know he's been having injuries, because before his first fight, that got delayed because he had a bad back. So, yeah. I mean, he could have been injured, you know, and everything like that. So he really wasn't in the gym as much as he wanted, where he really could have been, you know, because I remember too, and I think in the interview, because I think well, I'm sorry, say that again.
I was saying, how old is Punk? What, 36, 37? Or am
I believe Punk is 39 years old, and I was going to ask Brandon that. Could that be an issue as well?
Like, to be honest with you, man, the answer is really, it's no, man. It's no, because you look at somebody like tonight's main event, it's Yoel Romero. That dude's 41. That dude is an athlete, though. He's 41 and he's still performing at a high level. But that's because, but he has a wrestling background. Like, he's been in the Olympics, you know, several times and stuff like that. Like, to me, like, it's like they say, man, age is nothing but a number, because the thing is too, I tell my female students all this one story all the time, because they always ask about, like, you know, competing one day, maybe something like that. And I tell them, like, there's this woman, I think she's out of Missouri or something like that. They call her the grandma. No, the MMA grandma. She's like 52 years old, but she does amateur MMA. Like, she's out there fighting. She's 52 going up against like 22-year-olds. So the thing is, like, man, it's just up to you. If you really want to do it, you just got to put in the time. But the thing is, though, again, with that grandma, she's doing amateur MMA. She's not doing pro MMA yet. At least I don't think she's turned pro yet. But I just know she was doing amateur fights.
Now, you know what you could do? You could look at it like this, too, though. CM Punk wrestled for a long time, even before he got to WE, and all the wear and tear on his body when he was young. At 38 and 39 years old, however long he's doing this, his body's going to take long, because we all know, in your 20s, you heal up quick. When you start to get in your 30s, late 30s, 40s, your body starts to not heal as quick. So, I mean, that could be a big issue, too. And he's almost 40 years old, and I would think you would almost need at least, at least 10 years.
But, I mean, the thing, too, but the thing, too, as they say with CM Punk, he's not an athlete. You know, he's really not an athlete. Like, you look at his body, you look at him, he's not an athlete. He's a worker. You know, he's not a Brock Lesnar. He's not a Roman Reigns. He's not a Seth Rollins. You know, he's not even like an AJ Styles. Those guys are athletes. You know, like those guys could play other sports. CM Punk is just your dude that's just sitting at home watching TV. Like, that's why I think a lot of people in the WWE related to him, because you just look at him, he's like, he's just like me. You know, he's not an athlete. You know, like me. He's just another guy who's just out there, blue collar, working his butt off.
I love to see Strowman. Yeah, that will never happen. Yeah, I feel you on that. All right, so that'll be the end of the Punk talk. Let's get a little bit on your training, because I know you got a fight coming up yourself. How about you give us a little bit of details of how your training's going, and have you found out who your opponent is or anything like that?
I mean, first off, once again, man, just always thank you guys for having me on here. You know, I love chit and chatting with you guys, wrestling and fighting and everything like that. I already know who I'm fighting. Is actually a guy who I was supposed to fight last year in September. You know, things fell through, so me and him we're gonna run it back this time. Just like my last fight. You know, me and him were supposed to fight last year, but we're running it back this year. You know, basically like 2018, I'm kind of righting all the wrongs from 2017 right now with fights that I was supposed to have. I'm trying to have them now. So me and him, we're locked up. I already signed the contract, sent it in. Everything is good. Like I said, I'll be fighting July 20th at the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden. It's for Glory Kickboxing, which is basically the biggest kickboxing promotion in the world. Is basically, you know, the UFC or the NFL, you know, the MLB, the NBA, the NHL of where it is that I'm trying to be. My fight is on the preliminary card. So if you guys can't be there, you guys should be able to watch it on their YouTube channel, which is just Glory Kickboxing. You know?
Okay, Adam Baum was wondering if you're going to be on pay-per-view or how they're going to be able to.
No.
Okay, so your wife just answered and said it may be on YouTube. That's great. Okay, good.
No, yep. It will be on. Yeah, it will be on the YouTube channel. I'm trying to get that main event spot on their YouTube prelims, so that way it's a little bit later on. But I haven't heard anything of how the card is laid out yet. But that's really it on the fight details. But training wise, it's going well. You know, we're about like 2 weeks in. This past week was a rough one, but rough one as in man, it's just you know, the grind is just back on. You know, I basically like sparred every day this week. You know, got some good rounds in, doing my conditioning, getting my sprints in, getting my strength training in, man. We're doing some plyo. You know, man, this way, like I said, man, you know what I'm saying? Like how you saw with CM Punk, that's what I'm not trying to have with me, man. I'm trying to make sure where I can go all 3 rounds, I can push the pace and just go full throttle, man. I don't want to worry about getting tired, being worried about my cardio failing on me. I just want to be able to go 0 to 100 the entire time. And whenever I need to put it on that little extra on my opponent, I can take care of business.
Now, Brandon, really quick. Let some of us, a lot of us might not know, and a lot of the viewers might not know this either. What does it take for someone to have a cardio to go maybe a 5 rounds or like 10 or 12 rounds? What do you gotta do for your cardio for that?
Well, for me, it's I run a lot of sprints. It's really because it's just about because really like in fighting, it's all about being explosive. You know, it's not really like anaerobic, because in the fight game, you know, it's a pace where you're a high tempo sometimes, and there's sometimes where you just rest. Like how I was saying earlier with Punk, like he's got to learn when to work and when not to work. You know, when to take a break and when to really push it. So that's why we run sprints a lot, and we do it like it's 5 minutes, you know, so that way you're ready for it. And then with the plyo, it's the same thing. You do it on for like 15 seconds of work, and then you kind of like, you know, get a little break, and you're just trying to go hard for that short amount of time.
Oh, look, Alex joined the channel tonight. What's up, Alex? All right, well, that's all, man. That's a lot of training. I'm sure you're sore a lot. I'm sure you're exhausted by the end of the day.
Yeah, man. You know, it's some. I'm telling you, man. There's some days, man, where you like I got a buddy of mine. Like I don't know if you guys saw who I posted with yesterday. My buddy Craig. He's actually gonna be fighting the week after me, and he's actually coming back from fighting. Like he actually took a little time off. But I remember like we were just chilling in the locker room, and he was just like, "Oh, man, I forgot how hard this stuff is." And it's just like, yeah, like it's a lot of work, man. Like you'll be tired, you know, but you just got to go. You got to go through it. You know, this is what's going to get you ready for the fight. Like everybody says, man, it's like a lot of people say, like, really, man, the fight game is all mental, man. It's all mental. Like this is the tough part right here, because if you quit on yourself now during the training, come the fight, you'll definitely break.
Oh, I can imagine, man. I can only imagine. So we would like to get you back on the show a little bit, maybe a week or two before your fight, get a little bit some of your thoughts, you know, promote it a little bit more. And I'm sure you'll have a little bit more of an update on if we can watch it and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I said, I believe I definitely know. I think my fight will definitely be on YouTube. I just don't know exactly like what order yet. Like hopefully they'll come up with the lineup soon. But yeah, I'll definitely let you know. But before I go, I just want to bring up one thing, man. Like I said, because of you guys, I actually got back into. I actually got Pop TV, so I've been watching Impact.
Oh, okay.
Bro, today I finally watched that Woods match. When the easy, you guys got me watching, man. I almost wanted to stop and turn it away. My wife was dying. She was like, "Yo, can you mute this?" Because freaking Eddie Edwards, man, was just killing her by like the screams and everything. I was like, "Yo, what is this?"
That's funny. That's horrible. That's funny. That's hilarious.
Hey, bro, that Woods match killed me. I was like, yo, I'm about to turn this off, but I just couldn't stop. I had to keep watching.
You picked the wrong night to watch it. I'll just say that. Right? How about that? You just picked the wrong night to reinstate yourself into Impact Wrestling. According to these guys, it gets better. So just stick around a little bit longer, and I think you'll enjoy what you're watching.
Hey, Impact should be us. We're bringing new viewers back to Impact, watching Impact Wrestling. We are. Since we started doing this, more people are watching each week.
Yeah, so hey, that's cool that you're starting to watch it again. That's awesome, man. But we do appreciate you popping in here and talking with us and chilling with us. And I'll let you get back to watching the rest of the UFC card. And thank you for popping in, giving us your thoughts, and good luck on the rest of your training, man. And stay healthy, stay safe. I don't want you to get hurt, because this is a huge opportunity for you. I know it is. So,
yes, definitely. Thank you, man. Thank you again. Thank you again, guys. Thank you, Get the Tables family. I definitely appreciate all the love from my wrestling fans. Out here, like I said, man, I'm a big wrestling mark. Like I said, man, everything I do is like how I am is all because of wrestling, man. Like I said, like my name, like a lot of people. Like I said, like my nickname is called, I'm called the Mechanic, but a lot of people think it's because of like I'm a car mechanic. But in reality, really, the Mechanic is an homage to Bret the Hitman Hart, who's my favorite wrestler.
I think you just became Dave's favorite MMA fighter now, favorite fighter of all time, right there.
Because another way of saying Hitman is a mechanic. Hence the movie The Mechanic that came out. And everything like that, so it just flows together for me.
Hey, man, that's awesome, man. Well, good luck, my friend. We wish you the best, and we got to schedule you again to come on here. I know you're going to be busy. Don't want to interrupt anything. Maybe on another Saturday night show you can pop in and
Sounds good, man.
give us your thoughts, and we can send you some more positive vibes like we did the last fight you had.
All right, man. Thank you, man. You guys have a good one, all right?
You too, man. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Later. You too, guys. Peace.
All right. So that was some punk talk, some MMA talk, and we even got Brandon Catino into the show. So that was fun. Thank you, everybody, again for joining us. We are Get the Tables podcast. We are live every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturday evenings. Saturday is our more shoot the shit show. Obviously, we're talking UFC, which we rarely ever talk here on the show. And we have a lot more to talk to you guys about as well. So I hope you guys don't mind sticking along with us a little bit longer. Sorry for the show starting a little bit late. More of my fault because I was charging my iPad, and apparently it takes a little bit longer to charge iPads. So I just wanted to make sure I had enough battery to have a full show tonight. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for the shares on Twitter and Periscope. And also thank you, everybody, who has dropped the Super Hearts tonight. Very, very generous of you guys. We're almost at 100,000 Super Hearts, so that's pretty crazy. And thank you guys for joining us. So I hope everybody had a great Saturday. And, yes, Johnny Bones, we're not going to go in-depth on New Japan Pro Wrestling. We are going to talk about it. Our boy Alex wasn't able to join us tonight, so I'm going to save all that for him. I don't want to butcher names. I don't want to butcher anything, and I don't want to be on here acting like I know what I'm talking about. Dave watched 2 of the matches on Dominion, so he'll touch on that. But we'll get on to the full card next weekend, most likely. Our boy Alex, if you haven't followed him already, he did a whole post show about Dominion, so go follow him if you want to hear some more thoughts on it. But I don't want to be on here bullshitting you and acting like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling, because that's not our show. We have a guy specifically for that. He's not on here tonight, unfortunately, so hopefully you'll stick around, Johnny Bones, and when we do talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling, because it's not going anywhere anytime. So we have a lot to talk about, so let's roll through the lineup tonight. We got obviously New Japan Pro Wrestling. We're going to touch a little bit more on Eli Drake, Bret Hart, Chris Jericho, SummerSlam, Styles and Nakamura, Jeff Hardy, WWE Network, Daniel Bryan, and All In? SmackDown Live news about when they go live for all you West Coast guys. Paul Heyman news, Authors of Pain, and then our usual top 5 list for tonight, which is top 5 dream matches. It could be women, it could be men, it could be tag teams. Top 5 dream matches that you would want to see. It could be guys that are dead, it could be guys that have been retired. Any and all guys, women, and tag teams are allowed. Yes, it's very tough. I don't expect us to have all 5 because I kind of threw this at Dave kind of last minute. So if we have some kind of what the fuck kind of matches, kind of, bear with us. We'll probably do this list another time when everybody can join us, Alex. So let's just jump right into New Japan Pro Wrestling first. Since that's what everybody, that's pretty much the huge news going around town tonight. And it's huge news because Okada, everybody, dropped the New Japan Pro Wrestling title. Let me get some facts about Okada before we go into Dave's little stint here.
We should talk about Jericho match first, I think.
Yeah, we'll touch on Jericho as well. So I had his reign, the title reigns. Okay. So he defended the title 12 times. Was champion for 720 days. He won the title June 19th of 2016, and he had 4 total title reigns. Obviously, Kenny Omega won it last night or this morning, and a 2 out of 3 falls match. But before that match, we had another match with Chris Jericho taking on Naito for the New Japan Pro Wrestling Intercontinental title. And what the crazy thing about this, everybody, is that I think a lot of people thought Chris Jericho going into New Japan Pro Wrestling was most likely because he's going to get guys over. More exposure for Chris Jericho, a little bit more money in his pocket. Plus, on top of that, we get to see matches that we probably thought we would never see before. And, more than likely, he's probably not going to win. Well, boy, was I wrong. He wins the Intercontinental Championship from Naito in a pretty awesome match. I haven't seen the full match yet. I have seen highlights. Budweiser says the rematch probably happens on the cruise. Okay, that'll be interesting. I didn't know Naito was scheduled to it, but if he is, that's probably might be expected. For someone who saw the match, Dave, what were your thoughts on Jericho winning the championship?
No, I don't think it'll happen on the cruise because Jericho has said he's not wrestling on the cruise.
Okay.
That's why he got these guys, unless he changed his mind, but he originally said that's why he's getting all these other people. He's going to be singing stuff, but I don't think he's wrestling, but I could be wrong. I didn't think he was, but yeah, I mean, man, we first seen Jericho versus Omega at Wrestle Kingdom. It looked like the same Jericho we've seen in WWE pretty much. But when Jericho came out with a completely different look, and he got to debut one of his other songs from the album, which is really cool, which I like that song too. And but he came out kind of like a goth look, and kind of like this is like a reinvented Jericho. I mean, he had some dark makeup on. I mean, it was really cool. I really loved his new look, and he's like a completely different Chris Jericho now. It's not the same guy we used to seeing. Man, I really hope he never goes back to the WWE, and he stays doing this Chris Jericho, because I love this Chris Jericho. This is the best Jericho I think we've ever seen. I mean, maybe not ever, but this is really good. And, man, I thought the match was really good, too. If you want to say something about that, go ahead.
No, all I was going to say is that also your shirt brings up an interesting question. Did Nakamura still need a face from CM? That did roll through my mind when he said it one time. Not going to lie to you. All I will say is that I do wish that Chris Jericho was allowed a little bit more freedom in the WWE, and like he's in New Japan for wrestling. Obviously, he's not allowed to say things. Half of the things he says on New Japan, he probably wouldn't be able to say in the WWE. But I mean, as much as I love the list and the comedic side of Chris Jericho, but when he's a serious ass kicker and doesn't take shit from anybody, I mean, goodness gracious, this is the best Chris Jericho I have seen in years. And I'm glad he's able to reinvent himself in this type of a way, and there's no repercussions from WWE from it. Him being the way he is, maybe WWE would kind of, not be too happy about, but they haven't obviously done anything about it. And it's crazy. And it's hard to say when you have Chris Jericho doing what he's doing at his age, performing the way he's doing at a high level and not missing a beat and still doing what he does on the microphone. It's hard to say that this man is not one of the top wrestlers ever in the wrestling industry, because you want to say he doesn't draw or nothing, but he does. He's the total package of what people say makes you a top wrestler. Does he draw people? Does he do sellouts? How is his merchandise? How is he on the microphone? How is he in the ring? How is he able to reinvent himself in different type of ways? This guy can go into any type of company or have a match with anybody and blow the roof off of any arena. He can have a match of the night with anybody, in my opinion. And it's hard to say. I know everybody will put Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, yada, yada, yada. But when you have him in the top 5, I would honestly, and y'all may give me slack or heat for this, I would put Chris Jericho on my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. I would. It's hard not to. I mean, look at the title, look at the wrestling career of Chris Jericho. What are your thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, when you think about it, I think this match, I know you haven't seen it yet, was better than Omega Jericho. I think this was better. It was. I mean, man, I mean, when you think about it, how could you not almost even? I know this is a dangerous word to say that Jericho, if he's at least in the top three right now, what he's of best wrestlers going, what he's doing. I mean, there isn't a bigger star. I know we've mentioned Cody Rhodes when he did it. There isn't a bigger star who left WWE who's made this kind of impact anywhere right now, and he's making the biggest impact right now everywhere. I mean, man, and to think that when that match happened at Wrestle Kingdom in January, who would have thought that a few months later, by June, Chris Jericho would be the IWGP Intercontinental Champion? I mean, that is just crazy to think. I mean, we knew it was going to be something to do with Naito, but we never knew Naito was going to win the IC title either. So, I mean, man, this whole thing has been going on. Man, I hope Jericho never goes back to WWE. I really do, because I love this Chris Jericho. If he wants to work with Impact, ROH, whatever, I mean, this Chris Jericho is what people are talking about right now. I mean, this is what we're all talking about right now, because it was a new look. It was kind of what Matt Hardy did in TNA when he had the broken gimmick, when that came out of nowhere. He reinvented himself. That's kind of what Chris Jericho is. He reinvented himself. He's flipping cameras off. He's saying "fuck you" to all these guys. I mean, man, this is the wrestling that a lot of this is really. It's almost in a way, New Japan is in a way kind of giving you what the Attitude Era was a little bit with the stuff you're getting there, and that the WWE is just watered down PG bullshit. And it's when you see matches like this, it's like, man, this reminds me of back in the day. I was around for a lot of it, but way back when you had the WF who would put on their hokey pokey wrestling, and you had the NWA who would put on classic matches each week. There was the NWA classic fans, and then there was the WE hardcore fans. And to me, New Japan is kind of like the NWA at that standard right now, where they just put on great matches. You would see Ric Flair and Sting have 60-minute matches in NWA, and it's kind of like what you're seeing with Okada and Omega right now, those type of matches. And it's like, man. But I'll talk about Jericho. Man, and Naito, it was a good match, and Jericho just jumped him from the get-go, and he just beat the crap out of him for like 10 minutes. I mean, it was I think it was like a 25-minute match. It was really good. I enjoyed this match. I was surprised. I wasn't surprised he won because I seen it online before I watched the match, but it was still really cool. And how they did it, it was like, man, that there was a one code breaker he did. Naito's diving in the air, and Jericho just catches him in a code breaker, which was just sick. I mean, man. This match was fun. I enjoyed it. And then the classic. People complain about Austin Aries doing the same thing and winning the title, but Jericho basically did the same thing.
See, now here's my question. Now,
good.
This is a lot of what people are saying about New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, and this should probably be more of a question for Alex, since he's more of a New Japan guy than both of us. Is New Japan, and this is what I've been reading on Twitter, this is not out of my mouth, is New Japan Pro Wrestling, maybe not so much the main event and Jericho and Naito, but these other matches that are on the show, are they too choreographed?
In New Japan?
Yes.
What do you mean by choreographed? Like, you mean like all the matches are choreographed?
No, as in the high flying stunts, the...
Look at that part, yeah. I was watching that match, that first main event, thinking like, man, these are some cool moves and stuff, and these are some great stuff. I didn't watch earlier matches, but even in this match, even in the main event with Okada and Omega, I was like, man, these are some cool spots doing these cool moves, but they're not selling anything. I mean, they're just taking a move, getting right up, doing another one. You know, I mean, it's like they're not selling anything. I mean, there's no selling anymore. It's still fun to watch, yeah, because it's a lot of acrobatic and stuff like that.
Okay, choreographed is probably the bad word to use, but...
Too many spots?
Yeah, you know, that's what people gripe about New Japan, that it's just too much high flying, too many high spots, too much.
But that's the age we're in now. It really is. I mean, we're in everywhere. You go to any indie show, that's what you're seeing is these crazy spots everywhere.
The high flying spots is definitely what's getting over with the fans these days. for the most part. You know, I like New Japan Pro Wrestling's wrestling. That's my type of wrestling. Like, I wish WWE would have that type of wrestling in their company. Like, it's amazing. Like, to me, that's what 205 Live in a way reminds me. I'm not saying that it's compared to New Japan, but it kind of reminds me of that in a way of what we get in the wrestling. You know, what we get Alexander against Buddy Murphy or Mustafa Ali against Buddy Murphy. It's the type of stuff we would see like with the Zack Sabre or with the Ibushi type of, the high flying spots and stuff like that. That's my type of stuff. Sometimes I feel like they overdo it just a little bit.
Yeah, and not just New Japan though. It's like it's everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's
I agree. There is a lot of high spots, but one thing I looked at too, in the Jericho Naito match, there wasn't a lot of that. I mean, I know you didn't see it, but there wasn't a lot of these big high spots in this match. There really wasn't. It was a lot. It was a completely change of style, which I don't know what the rest of the card was, but I'm pretty sure it was a lot of spots in it, a lot of spot fest, and some people a lot of us are from the older school a little bit. We like a slower paced match, and I do. I like the slower style and wrestling holds and putting a move on somebody. I mean, heck, today's wrestling fan would have hated the Iron Man match between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. That's one of my favorite matches to go back and watch.
Yeah, speaking of that, Texas Kid for Life, for one, is one of those guys that says that match was boring. What's up, how you doing, dude? How's your night going?
And it makes no sense to me, stuff like that. Today's fan doesn't like a good classic wrestling match. Or they wouldn't like Ric Flair and Steamboat or Ric Flair and Sting. They wouldn't like those type of matches. I mean, they just wouldn't. And today's wrestling is basically because a lot of us, they probably did the same thing a lot of the wrestlers today who were kind of probably WCW cruiserweight fans, because that was the style we got in the WCW cruiserweight division. That's what made the WCW cruiserweight division so good, is because it was completely different than what Hogan and Savage and all them were doing in the main event. No one was high-flying and doing all these crazy spots like the cruiserweights were, so it was something different that you seen on a Monday Nitro. And then you go into the Lex Lugers, the Hulk Hogans, and the Stings. They weren't doing moves like that.
That's a good point, Adam. Adam makes a good point. He says New Japan has all the matches from every era, which is kind of true. Seeing some of the guys that they have on their roster, you'll get the hard hitting matches, but then again, you'll also get the high flying matches as well. It makes sense.
It seems like you're getting more high flying stuff, not just New Japan, but everywhere, than you are. Yeah, New Japan will mix it up and give you a little bit of everything, but it seems like that's what's talked about. Like, let's not forget NXT just a couple weeks ago. What was the big thing that blew up from NXT a couple weeks ago? Everyone was talking about it. When Ricochet did that little flip outside over the ropes and dove right in front of Velveteen Dream.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about that because it was so cool to see, and that's what we're getting with a lot of these spots. Crazy flips off that ladder match at NXT TakeOver. I mean, that was a crazy spot fest ladder match, and that's what it was. It was nowhere near a Shawn Michaels and Razor ladder match. It was nowhere near something like that, or even Rock and Triple H ladder match. It was nowhere near it. It was just like a bunch of crazy spots. Yeah, I miss the old school. I like the old style, but it's like we're not really getting that part. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks.
Different era now.
Yeah, we're in the spot fest era, I guess you could say.
But let's move on to Omega and Okada. Okada loses the title. Omega is now the new champion. Seems like the Bullet Club is no more. They're going with the Golden Elite. Interesting to see because Cody Rhodes decided to not celebrate with the Young Bucks and Ibushi and Omega in the ring after Omega won the title. So I'm probably going to see Rhodes and Omega down the road, I would assume. But your thoughts on the match itself, Dave?
I thought it was good. It was a chore because I'm not used to sitting there for whatever the match length was. It was over an hour. So, I can't remember the exact length of the match, but it was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun match. You don't see long matches like that. So anytime you get something like this, which Tony can appreciate it, because if you ever watched, like Brett and Sean did at the Iron Man match, that's what it kind of reminded me of. You can see the guys pacing themselves a little bit, and I mean, anybody who goes out that long and wrestles for that long, I mean, man, they deserve all the credit in the world, because they pushed themselves to the absolute limit to go out there and do that and put on a damn good match. I don't know what Meltzer gave it, but I enjoyed the match. I thought it was good, even though I knew who won because of Alex, because I went to see what people were talking. I went on our little DM group chat, and I seen Alex posted that, so I was like, okay, so there you go. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. I mean, it was a fun match to watch. I mean, if you got time to watch it, I mean, go check it out. I mean, it was a fun match. It was a long match, but there were some crazy spots in that match. There were a lot of crazy spots in that match. And what you were just talking about, I was thinking that watching this, like, man, there's like no selling at all here. They're just doing one move and popping right back up, doing another one. And it was like, okay, he just did one big move. Why not take a few minutes? You know, hit a big move and take a minute and just stay down.
There were 3 points where I thought Okada won the match. Says Adam Bomb. Yeah, Meltzer probably going to give this shit 10 stars.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. Quick poll I did on the CM Punk. I put, should CM Punk quit MMA fighting and go back to wrestling? I got over 110 votes so far, and 75% say yes.
I said no. I mean, why not? I mean, he's putting young guys up for it.
Adam Bomb said he should quit MMA. He shouldn't return to wrestling, though. T-Dog said, I give Punk credit for tipping MMA, but it's time for him to pull the plug and go back to wrestling in some capacity. He faced possibly the worst fighter imaginable and got dominated. I think Constable Corbin. Wow, someone named with the Twitter handle Constable Corbin said, I think Phil should be done with it all, to be honest. And then someone also put, I say he should stop MMA and not go back to wrestling, enjoy life, maybe motivational speaker or something.
Mark Merrill got that.
So a lot of people are saying that Punk should pretty much probably quit. So we'll see what happens.
You know what? If he's happy what he's doing and he wants to keep fighting, Bellator will back up a money truck and say, come fight us for Spike TV or Paramount, whatever the hell it's called now. I mean, if Dana White won't let him fight no more, I bet you Bellator will. You know, and they'll pay him a bunch of money too and pop a big rating for CM Punk wrestling on Paramount, which is weird to say now, but whatever.
Paramount.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird not calling it Spike TV anymore, calling it Paramount TV.
Oh, interesting. All right, so let's move on. We got some Bret Hart news. Hall of Famer Bret Hart recently spoke with Talk Sport while he was in the UK.
This should be interesting.
For his speaking tour. During the interview, he was asked about Eric Bischoff saying on his podcast that Bret Hart brought nothing creative to the table. This is some of Bret Hart's. Johnny Bones, yeah, that's pretty much all in Japan for tonight. Like I said, our boy Alex isn't on the show tonight. If he was on the show, we would go through the whole card. But like I said, we've only saw 2 matches. I'm not going to fake you and act like we saw the matches. I'm not going to give you a fake review. That's not our style. Alex, King of New Jersey, was in here earlier. Just go hit him, follow him. He'll have his review up. And if you're in here the next time he's in here, we'll go over the card a little bit more. I just don't want to act like I know what I'm talking about and those type of hosts. You know what I mean?
And let's not forget, Alex put up like a 40-minute video on Periscope talking about New Japan. So if you want to see something like that, go check that out.
Yeah, so no disrespect to New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're doing great stuff over there. And I wish I was able to watch the show this morning. I was at work when Dominion was going on, so I wasn't able to watch it. I heard great stuff from it. I heard it was a great show, but I haven't been able to watch it. So I can't really review what I haven't watched. I just seen highlights of the Jericho and the Okada match. And for what I saw, both matches were outstanding. So, yeah, that's basically it. We wanted to at least touch on it. Not if it just, we didn't want to ignore it because that'd be foolish. We wanted to at least touch on it a little bit, give you a little bit of an idea of what we thought about Okada. Because, you know how what I say about Okada. I give Alex and Okada a hard time on the show, and
yeah. And how about that, Tony?
Also Okada.
Yeah, how about Okada? He took the last 2 falls.
Yeah, props to Okada, man. Like I said, I give him hell all the time. You know, his matches are predictable, yada yada yada. Just me giving Alex and everybody a hard time, but hey, props to him losing the last 2 falls and throwing out a hell of a match. And let's see how long he actually doesn't hold the title. We'll see. Okay, so Bret Hart said Eric Bischoff is a total complete idiot, maybe the single stupidest idiot that ever got into wrestling. He never came through on anything he said. He had 0 ideas on wrestling, and if you went to him with ideas, he'd always have some ridiculous reason he couldn't do it. I've heard him say, I came there a broken man after the Montreal screw job. It's absolutely an insult to me. I wanted so hard to make a difference. I wanted to go in there and do everything I could possibly to get even with Vince. More him to suggest that it is an insult to the highest order. Don't get me talking about Eric Bischoff. I'll take my coat off and come out of retirement. Says Bret Hart.
Damn.
So yeah, Bret Hart does not like Eric Bischoff whatsoever. Damn.
Better watch out at All In. I think Bret Hart's supposed to be there too. I think I could be wrong.
More Bret Hart news. Hart just don't like Bischoff from WCW days. Bret always comes across so bitter. Yeah, he does a little bit. I agree with you on that. Also, Bret Hart was also asked who he thinks should be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. He said, I like a lot of people. If Owen Hart's not in the WWE, then what kind of Hall of Fame is it? I'm embarrassed on their part. They can take so many great wrestlers and not include them in the Hall of Fame. I don't have any problem with anyone who's in there, but I think Demolition should be in there. That Dynamite Kid should be in there. That Davey Boy should be in there. I'm embarrassed Owen isn't in there. Owen was one of the most respected and admired in the business for his integrity. I can't say the word. Oh, my God. Integrity. There you go. I can't say that goddamn word. Wow. Hello, high school education. Why they won't acknowledge him is beyond me. See, first off, the whole Owen situation is not the WWE's fault. Last time I checked, is that correct? I thought it was more Owen's wife not wanting to be associated with the WWE. And she's still kind of upset over that whole situation. Am I correct on that, or am I wrong on that?
Yeah, you are, because at the Hall of Fame, Mark Henry even made a plea to his wife, like, please let Owen go in the Hall of Fame.
That's what the whole Hall of Fame was basically about, was them putting Owen over and trying to get – I'm not sure if it was basically them pleading to Owen's wife or what, but them to basically – try to get Owen into, I don't know, next year's Hall of Fame, or at least into the Hall of Fame in the future.
But I do agree with Bret on the fact that I think Davey Boy and Dynamite Kid should both be in the Hall of Fame, though. I do agree with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that Demolition's not in. I'm not sure if they ended terms badly, and I'm kind of shocked Davey Boy is as well. You would think Davey Boy would be in the Hall of Fame already. Owen to Hall of Fame too soon.
How is it too soon? Eddie Guerrero died and went the next
pretty
year.
Much begging her to agree him to be inducted. Exactly. Like, they were pleading to. I can't remember Owen Hart's wife. Was it Dana? Dana Hart?
No, it's his sister. No, it's his sister. I think Dana is.
I can't remember.
Diana's
Hart? I don't remember. It's
is it Martha?
Martha. There you go, Martha. Okay, so it's like them pleading with her to drop whatever deal she has with the WWE and to let them have them into the Hall of Fame.
Well, you can't really blame her for still holding a grudge, though. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I can understand that, but hey, I'm not sure how many years it's been. It's been a while already. I mean,
that happened in 99, I believe.
What better way to acknowledge Owen Hart than to put him into the Hall of Fame? And if she wants to say, hey, if you want him in the Hall of Fame, I want Owen, even though this would probably be foolish and a little bit silly and probably sad at the same part, Have him headline the Hall of Fame. Have Owen Hart be the headliner.
I think Owen and Davey should both go in the Hall of Fame the same year.
Oh, Demolition won't get in because he says some bad shit about Vince. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, once you say something bad about Vince, it's pretty much over. Well, that's not true. That's not true. But you gotta watch what you say about Vince. But yeah, he does make a little bit of a case about, you know, some of the people that are in the Hall of Fame is a little bit foolish when you have people not in the Hall of Fame like Owen and Davey Boy.
Well, I think are they still involved with that lawsuit though? Demolition, about they're suing the WE over concussion stuff. I'm sure they're settled, but weren't they behind like some big lawsuit? Part of that, I believe.
Somewhere on that. I can't believe I couldn't say integrity. I was having such a hard time saying integrity. Like, what the fuck was my problem? I was having a brain fart at that moment. So yeah, that's a little bit of an info about that. A little bit Bret Hart news into the show. Let's see a little bit more of Eli Drake news. Everybody, Eli Drake.
Must be a slow week.
It's definitely a slow week in wrestling news. Surprisingly, back-to-back slow weeks in wrestling. As previously reported, Impact Wrestling, Eli Drake is currently negotiating a new contract with Impact Wrestling, but he hasn't signed a new deal yet. I'm so proud you got through saying integrity twice now. There, I said it 3 times now. According to Dave Meltzer, everybody's favorite, there has been at least some talk in WWE about possibly bringing him in. As fans might be aware, Drake was previously under contract to WWE in their developmental system in 2013-14 under the ring name of Slate Randall. He was released from the WWE contract in August of 2014. Which name is better, Slate Randall or Eli Drake?
Well, it doesn't matter because he probably wouldn't keep Eli Drake. It'd probably be some stupid name they'd give him.
They give him Slate Randall back again?
Maybe. I mean, you never know. EC3 didn't come back as Derek Bateman, so you never know. But to me, Drake, I couldn't think of his name. Eli Drake, forgot about him. But his character isn't really like a standout character to me. EC3 stood out to me. Drake doesn't really stand out. Why would the WWE want him? He looks like either you could say the Miz. He even looks a lot like that Tino guy. They look similar. It's like it's just another guy who looks like a typical wrestler.
I would like to see how Drake would do in NXT. He's good on the mic.
Yeah, that's about it.
He's not the greatest in-ring performer, but you know that's what NXT is there for, to help you work on that craft. And you know, I'm curious to see how Drake would do in NXT with some time in developmental league and see what they would do with him. I'm curious because, you know, so when they usually bring guys in, they usually knock it out of the park for the most part.
Now, did you hear about this ROH and Impact stuff?
No. Talking about the cruise?
Yeah, after that, because Meltzer, I believe, is reporting, I heard someone report it, that they believe that after the cruise, we are going to see some ROH versus Impact stuff.
That's possible. That means Sami Callihan called out some people from ROH. So,
how cool would it be to see some ex-Impact people coming back to facing Impact again? That'd be so, like Jay Lethal, Daniels, and Kazarian. That'd be really awesome.
Drake said he wants to remain with Impact to build the company up. All right, good. I hope he does stay with Impact.
He does. I mean, come on. Where's he going to go?
Yeah, I mean, you got a point. All right, so possible spoiler alert news, everybody. So cover your ears if you don't want to be spoiled or possibly upset. The feud between Nakamura and AJ Styles is going to continue after their last man standing match at Money in the Bank. Several arenas are advertising a match between the two at live events all the way through August. A fatal four-way for the U.S. Championship between Jeff Hardy, The Miz, Rusev, and Samoa Joe has also been announced. The first two fought in WWE at WrestleMania 34, where Nakamura low blowed Styles following his Phenomenal One's victory. For 2 more months.
Yeah, but that's typical for house shows, though. They usually do stuff like that, you know? It doesn't mean it's...
Show, yeah. Yeah, but let's just put into fact that it's going to go to August. That means it went from April to August. May, July, August, 4 months of this shit.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I hate this kind of stuff because it gets leaked out, and then you see all this crap, and then it almost spoils what's going to happen at Money in the Bank next weekend because it's almost saying, okay, so that almost is betting. You're almost betting that Nakamura is winning the title at Money in the Bank, and then AJ is going to be getting his title rematch. You know, that's what it seems like going into SummerSlam.
Yeah, and on that note as well, we know Mahal and Reigns are going to wrestle a week before their actual wrestling match on Sunday.
What?
Yeah, according to Jinder Mahal on Twitter, he challenged fucking Roman Reigns to a match or something. I didn't see the whole interview. And Reigns accepted it. So they're facing each other on Raw on Monday night. And then they're going to face each other again at the Money in the Bank.
Oh, brother. It'll probably turn into a tag match or something, just like last week.
That's Raw, everybody. That's Raw. Please. They got moved to Raw as far as I know. Really? So it won't be at Money in the Bank. Interesting. I wonder why. They're taking it off the card?
Because no one wants to see it.
That's interesting. Some Jeff Hardy news, everybody. United States champion Jeff Hardy could be forced to take some time off very soon. According to everybody's favorite, Dave Meltzer, the 40-year-old Hardy is reportedly dealing with a pinched nerve that is causing him to suffer from numbness in his fingers. No word on how long he's been dealing with this or when WWE might book him to drop the U.S. Championship title. Interesting. That does show you why Jeff Hardy hasn't been on the show, and again, why Money in the Bank does not have a U.S. title match. So,
yeah,
I wonder how long Jeff Hardy will be away, but hopefully this is nothing too serious. Man, since returning to the WWE, Jeff Hardy this has not been Jeff Hardy's run for the WWE. Gotten hurt after hurt, and just something's always seems to be popping up for Jeff Hardy.
Well, we just talked about it with the CM Punk story about how when you get older like this, injuries kind of start to pile up a little bit, it seems like, and you can't get healed up as quick. And all the years of Jeff Hardy taking all those crazy bumps off ladders and all that, and the stuff he did in TNA and some of those crazy matches there, I mean, it's just catching up with him.
Yeah, it's definitely have. I got to feel for Jeff, too, especially he was getting a kind of a successful singles run, and wins the title, and things are looking better for him, and then you have that kind of happen to him. It's kind of tough, so I feel you on that. The WWE are reportedly still interested in re-signing former world champion Rey Mysterio 3 years after his release from the company. According to everyone's favorite Dave Meltzer, there has been consistent talk between Mysterio and the WWE with a return as soon as September. Rey did wrestle at the Dominion events, teaming with Liger and Tanahashi against Cody, Marty Scurll, and Adam Page. Mysterio joined the WWE in 2002, winning the 3 world titles during his tenure. He also made 2 one-off returns this year at the Royal Rumble and at the Greatest Royal Rumble. So yeah, there you go, everybody. If you're wondering what the hell are they doing with Rey Mysterio, Rey booked for the summer and Jericho Cruise, I believe. Oh, okay. Yeah, so they did say in the fall, so maybe.
Yeah, I guess Kalisto's not really working out as the top babyface with a mask.
I didn't think he would ever would.
But it seemed like when they were pushing him all this time, oh, I dedicate this match to Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. I'm gonna do this for them. I mean, I hated that.
I feel you. YTJ and Ray are wanted. F. Kalisto and Fake Sin Cara. Who could have predicted that, right? Right, Adam Bomb. All right, everybody. Daniel Bryan, unsure if he'll be able to appear at All In due to WWE contract expiring the day of. Daniel Bryan's WWE contract expires in less than 3 months on September 1st. According to Dave Meltzer in the latest edition of Wrestling Observer, Bryan has not yet signed a new contract. September 1st is also the date of All In, independent show outside of Chicago promoted by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. While the show sold out in under 30 minutes, having someone like Bryan appear would be a great coup. Bryan recently appeared on Chris Jericho's Talk is Jericho podcast and revealed that he doesn't know if he could even do the show. The day of the show is the day my contract expires, Bryan said. When asked if that meant he could appear at the event, Bryan laughed and replied, I don't know. Bryan noted that he doesn't know if his contract expires on the 31st at midnight or September 1st at midnight, with the latter not allowing him to appear. Bryan joked that he could appear at the show in a full-body suit and a mask and then get unmasked at midnight.
Yeah, he could appear, though, physically, because he's not a talent wrestler. You know, he wasn't. Or is that different? Because remember, Jimmy Jacobs got fired, and he was on that Impact pay-per-view like a week later or whatever. But, I mean, he wasn't a talent contract. He was just whatever.
No, he's talented. He has to be talented, I would assume.
Oh, you think so? Okay. Because I don't think none of the staff has contracts, really. I remember Bruce Pritchard saying that, like, none of the writers or people there have contracts, really.
All right, so that's the Daniel Bryan news on that.
Who is reporting that?
Your favorite, Dave Meltzer.
That interview was like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I know. Also, just a little bit of Impact news. Slammiversary sold out all of their VIP tickets. Oh, all right. Hey, there you go.
So they sold both of them.
Good for Impact, man. Good shit. That's good. And apparently to Atom Bomb, things are going to start spicing up on Impact too. So definitely not, since this past weekend's episode wasn't the greatest. I hope next week's knocks it out of the ballpark. Again, thank you everybody for joining us as Get the Tables podcast. We are live every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Next week, everybody, is a huge week for us. Not only will we be live next weekend on both Saturday and Sunday for TakeOver NXT Chicago and also for Money in the Bank, but it also marked 2 years of us being live on Periscope as a wrestling podcast, wrestling show, whatever you want to call us. So we will be doing giveaways. We will also be taking phone calls. So I really hope if you guys can join us, I would really appreciate it if you guys can pop in, hang out with us, let us know what you thought of Money in the Bank. Come in on Saturday, let us know what you think on TakeOver. Would really appreciate it. Also, speaking of TakeOver, we will be doing our TakeOver predictions on Tuesday night. So Tuesday night, we will be giving our predictions. If Dave isn't able to join us Tuesday, I will have his written down and I will have his predictions ready for us on Tuesday. So thank you, everybody, for joining us again tonight. And thank you for supporting us for the last 2 years on Periscope. All In is on September 1st. Thank you again for all the hearts y'all have pumped tonight. And thank you for getting us over 1,000 viewers again for tonight. So appreciate you guys joining us on this late Saturday evening. James Storm had interesting to say about Beer Money. He would entertain a reunion. I heard, yep. I was going to touch on that. I was going to touch on some James Storm. But I didn't write it down. I don't know why. But yeah, that is very true. Jody Mania is not lying about that. Paul Heyman leaving WWE after SummerSlam. Paul Heyman may be leaving the WWE if Brock Lesnar leaves the company after this year's SummerSlam. According to Sports Illustrated, Justin Barrasso, that's a lot of people don't really credit him too much. There are currently no plans for Heyman to do anything in the company without Brock. If Lesnar is in fact finished with the WWE following SummerSlam, then Paul Heyman would also be finished with the company, as there are no current plans for Heyman outside of his role as Lesnar's on-screen advocate. SummerSlam takes place on Sunday, August 19th, which would make Heyman a free agent by the end of the month.
Damn, dude, can you imagine that? I know it would be
heavily rumored that Brock will be leaving the company after SummerSlam, as he is currently on a per-appearance contract. If Brock is to leave, he may return to WCW, the UFC, after his suspension ends.
Man, but can you imagine that? I'm not saying they could afford him, but man, they used to work together back in ECW. So, can you imagine if he got brought in like a consultant or something to Impact Wrestling if he's a free agent? Because Don Callis and them were changing the game around there. And it wouldn't be too far of a possibility if, I think, Paul Heyman showed up as a accounts, like not even working on TV, but even behind the scenes.
Shit, imagine if that does actually happen. We could possibly see Paul Heyman at All In.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Imagine Heyman showing up at All In, man. I mean,
everyone else, every other legend is showing up there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and you could just have him show up at All In, and I mean, that would be something crazy. I got the speaking of what Jody Mania was talking about. Former Impact World Champion and multi-time Tag Team Champion James Storm responded to Scott Fishman on Twitter, who said that he would like to see Storm reunite with his former Impact Wrestling tag partner Bobby Roode as Beer Money. Storm replied with, "That would make for some glorious beer money and a lot of merch money." Oh man,
he's trying to get booked.
Yes, Don Callis was also hired as an announcer for All In, so that must mean that All In's going to be on some type of a streaming service. So I wouldn't think he would just be there just to commentate to nobody, unless they're going to do like some type of DVD possibly. But looks like they're going to be on some type of streaming service. So awesome, and All In is going to be. Looks like we'll be doing a post show for All In.
I hope so. I mean, can you imagine if I don't think it would, but I don't know if any Impact people are involved in this at all. Can you imagine if they put it on the Impact's Twitch? Man.
Yeah, but I think they're going to want to get some money from this, and I don't blame them.
Well, they would.
Well, I mean, if you put it on Twitch, it's pretty much free.
They have their own thing. They have All In has their own channel. Go ahead.
You would think they would probably want it on the Fight app or whatever it's called, or actual pay-per-view or whatever hell. But yeah, we'll see. I'm glad that they announced that he's going to be commentating, because that pretty much shows you that there's going to be a streaming. Let's see. WWE filed trademarks for possible new TV series or tier system for the network.
Oh.
PW Insiders reporting that the WWE has filed 2 new trademarks for a possible new TV series or the long-rumored tier system for the WWE Network. The company has reportedly applied to register trademarks for the WWE VIP with marks purposes for television broadcasting services. The full listing of descriptions of the trademarks are below. I'm not going to read all of it.
So what are some of them?
It's just a bunch of television broadcasting services, cable television broadcasting service. It's a bunch of mumbo jumbo, nothing too crazy. Nothing like WWE related.
You know what I wish they would do, though? You remember MTV Cribs?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool to see WWE Superstar, Cribs type thing like that on the network? Like a 10 or 15-minute segment. They could do something like that. That'd be cool. Or even a WWE game show, like they teased, like on one commercial they did for something for I seen that commercial. It was for a WWE Network thing, like do like with the Superstar game show or whatever, like they do on YouTube sometimes. They used to do Game Night WWE with WWE Superstars, but yeah, I mean, there's so many options they could do. Why not give us? Me and Tony, I know, will agree with this. Please, WWE Network, WWE, for the love of it, give us another Legends House. That show was so freaking awesome.
Yeah, Legends House was pretty good. Speaking of SmackDown on the West Coast, once SmackDown Live moves to Fox, it will not be live anymore on the West Coast.
Oh, it's not live now on the West Coast, is it?
Yeah, it's live, I think, on like DirecTV or something like that. But once it moves to regular TV, it will no longer be live for West Coast people. So you'll be seeing the pre-taped version. You're going to want to be off Twitter.
Yeah, but also that's probably a low percentage on, like, I don't think every American has DirecTV anyway. So I mean that's probably a low percentage in the West Coast who would actually get it anyway.
It's possible, but you never know, and it means a lot for guys on the West Coast because, but plus when SmackDown comes on here, at least like 5 o'clock over there in the West Coast, so I don't see a lot of people sitting down at 5 o'clock watching. Man, SmackDown.
I gotta admit, don't you kind of envy West Coast people when it comes to like these sporting events that are going on, like the playoffs and the finals that were just airing?
Sporting events and stuff like that. Other than that, no, because a lot of their stuff they don't see live.
No, I know. I just like live stuff that goes live, like football and all that. All this stuff.
Basketball, yeah, like UFC fights. Oh yeah,
yeah.
I agree. I mean, 100%.
I mean, you're getting home at like 5 o'clock, and a playoff game is just starting or something like that, and it's like, geez.
Yeah, I agree with you. Last news to note for tonight's show. Yeah, I know. It's like I said, it was a slow. Yeah, 10 a.m. NFL games. Yeah, very true. Or when NFL games end on Sunday night, you still have your Sunday night, because it's still like 8 o'clock or whatever. Not surprised that so many streaming services for TV might not mean much soon. That is very true, Adabomb. Very good point there, my friend.
Yeah, but also when they do those 9 a.m. London games, what is that, like 6 or 5 in the morning? 6 in the morning, and they get that? So
yeah. So it's brutal if you're a football fan living in the West Coast. Last news of notes. As previously reported, the reason why the Authors of Pain have been barely used on television since being called up from NXT is because WWE Creative, everybody, listen to this, apparently doesn't really know what to do with them at the moment.
This sounds familiar.
Dave Meltzer posted another update on their situation when asked by a fan on Twitter. They aren't booked on the pay-per-view, and they don't want to lump them in the most... Oh, I'm sorry. They aren't booked on the pay-per-view, and they don't want to lump them in with the non-pushed teams.
So, Tony, you're telling me they have nothing for Authors of Pain. So why couldn't you why couldn't you put the Authors of Pain in that battle royal and have them win it and face Bray and Matt at the pay-per-view? Why couldn't that have been the match? How could you not do that instead of the B team?
Yeah, it's a waste of a call-up. Why call them up if you have no fucking plan for them?
Same thing with Sanity.
So that's pretty much all the wrestling news for this week. Instead of top 5, we'll do top 3 dream matches. How about that?
We can do 5. I'll make up some stuff.
I don't even have 5, so we'll do 3 because it was just kind of like on the fly. I don't even have 5. Wade Creator doesn't know what to do with talent. Next, you'll say that SmackDown had 6 women. Right.
Man, they should just turn SmackDown into a women's show. It seems like that's what it is.
Try to come on here and rant about WWE. We really don't. Try to be positive. But WWE makes it so goddamn hard sometimes. Like, seriously, they make it so damn hard. All right, Dave. Top 3 dream matches. Number 3.
Does it have to be just WE?
No.
Okay. Young Bucks versus the Rockers.
Young Bucks versus the Rockers. That's interesting. Is it because they resemble each other?
Well, yeah, if you think about it, the Rockers were basically what the Young Bucks are now.
To a certain extent. I see.
At that time, what they were doing was basically it was all this high flying moves and all these crazy spots or whatever. That's basically what it's a lot different now, but because everyone's doing it now. But yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be an interesting matchup.
That's a good one, Budweiser. Number 2.
What about you? You gonna go one?
Number 3, dream match. Yeah, I'll do it. Omega.
Oh.
Yeah. Omega versus Aleister Black.
Oh, I like that.
Young Bucks versus Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. Ooh, that would be a good one. That would be a real good one. Young Bucks versus Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, Dave. Number 2.
Kenny Omega versus Seth Rollins.
Ooh.
It might have happened already, but if it has, I don't remember.
Austin Aries versus Shawn Michaels.
Why?
That's an interesting combination. All right. I'm gonna do a tag team because this is a good. I'm curious to see how these guys would do. Young Bucks versus the Usos.
Yeah, that's been a talked about match. Yeah, I can see that.
I guess Graves taking stuff on Twitter. What did Graves say now, Bob Aruski? I'm gonna look it up right now. All right, number 1.
Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart.
Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart. Okay. HBK
What a shocker.
versus Omega.
I see that. I still would love to see HBK and AJ Styles.
Eli Drake versus The Rock.
No, now we got to do top 3 matches we don't want to see. My number 1, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar for 100th time.
Oh, God. That one we don't have a choice. Oh, jeez. I can't believe that shit.
What do you say?
This Friday on CBS, Stephanie is on Undercover Boss at a performance center. Tessa Blanchard versus Trish Stratus. Big dog. I like how Bob Ruski just calls Roman Reigns the big dog, and we all. I just laugh at that. So I think everybody agrees that Punk should.
That's already happened.
What, Punk?
No, someone just said, why? Oh, Jericho versus Dean Malenko.
Oh, also number Omega versus Angle in his prime.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, God. Corey Graves is going
on CM Punk?
I don't know, but holy moly, Corey Graves. Oh, wow, Corey Graves. Corey Graves.
Well, you gonna beat it?
Maybe abandoning everybody who stood by your side, even when we weren't supposed to, only to have you turn your back on us, wasn't the right move after all. No anger, only sadness. Oh, seeing the fans are disappointed. Maybe you guys should know that dude held my first son before I did because I was on tour and I trusted him. I had dinner with him the week after he quit. The first rule of punk rock is loyalty, and this guy betrayed it all. I still love you, friend, and I'm sorry you got lost. Don't worry. Hey, Vince McMahon, this has nothing to do with you. You either, Triple H. This isn't corporate. This is real life. Calm down, inner nerds. Jesus Christ. Wow. Wow. Wowzers. Jeez.
So, what if we get in trouble for that tweet?
Oh, my God. Wow. All right.
Guess he doesn't like CM Punk.
Is he talking about CM Punk there? I was wondering. Is that what?
I mean, Punk Rock.
Is he talking about CM Punk? I'm not sure if he's talking about. Is he talking about Punk or?
It would have to be. He talks about punk rock, you know,
Yeah,
and
I'm
all
just
that.
playing. I know. I'm just being sarcastic. Well, Corey getting the MMA and Octagon. Yeah, I mean, I understand.
I don't think he means that. He doesn't mean that. He means, I guess he means the whole, I don't know. That but he does kind of bash, he has bashed wrestling a lot since he's quit. Like, he doesn't do, WrestleMania to in front of these people and all that. Yeah, that was fake. This is real.
Wow.
He does a lot of that.
That is, that's pretty low blow. That's a low blow, man. Like, he went out of his way to tweet that. And $20 says that he tweets a half-hearted apology tomorrow. Oh God, it's just weird seeing people who were your allies turn. Yeah,
he'll come out and say like, he'll probably come out and say like, "Oh, it wasn't about CM Punk."
He'll probably say it was hacked. It's just weird. Like, we don't know what all actually happened. All right, apparently, stuff that we don't know deeper than what we know happened. Obviously, between Corey Graves and Punk and whoever else, and maybe Punk did turn his back on a few guys. Maybe once Punk left WWE, he stopped talking to a lot of these people. And, you know, we don't know. We don't know the situation. Like, I'm not going to try to defend Punk because, like I said, I'm a big Punk guy, and I honestly think he should give up on MMA fighting. And no, like I put on the tweet, I tweeted out early. No one's gonna call Punk a quitter. All right, nobody's gonna call Punk a loser. He had a passion, he had a dream, he was able to fulfill it. He's just not ready. You know, age is a factor too. He can't train, you know, 5-8 years and try to perfect the art because he's not in his 20s anymore. You know. I don't know. The thing is, didn't Punk leave before Graves showed up to NXT? I'm not sure. I'm not honestly sure on that. It was, 2014? I'm not sure how far Graves was.
Oh, Graves was there. He was wrestling in NXT. He was wrestling Seth Rollins when he was NXT champion before Graves got injured, so Punk was still there. Punk came to NXT a few times when he was world champion.
Oh, okay. There you go. That answers your question, Mr. Adam Down. So yeah, that is. I don't think a lot of Punk fans are gonna like Corey Graves.
I think a lot of people like Graves anyway.
I don't have a problem with Graves, but yeah, a lot of people don't like him as well. So interesting night to say the least.
You know what's really funny about this is, because Punk is trending, and when you click the trend on Twitter, the stuff Graves said pops up because he said Punk Rock.
Yeah. Does Graves a little sore his wrestling career fizzled? Yeah, possibly, yeah. Maybe he could be jealous, yeah. Okay, I thought he left before Graves showed up. Nope. Surprisingly enough. So, I mean, sour grapes between Graves and Punk, apparently, or at least Graves towards Punk. But yeah, that's going to pretty much wrap up tonight's show. I know we went a little bit later tonight. It's over midnight on the East Coast time, so I thank you guys for staying up late. Thank you, Dave, for staying up late. And thanks again for the mechanic for coming on. Oh, Graves is definitely talking about Punk. Absolutely talking about CM Punk. Yeah, it's almost 1 a.m., so thank you guys for staying up late. Yeah, no New Japan Pro Wrestling talk. So I apologize for that. I know you guys are used to hearing about New Japan, but no New Japan talk tonight. So I apologize for that. It was a little bit different type of a show tonight, talking MMA. But hey, it was fun. Yes, Budweiser. Thank you guys for the over 1,300 viewers tonight. Y'all guys rock. Thank you again for the mechanic coming on at the beginning of the show, giving his thoughts on the UFC and CM Punk stuff. Bob Ruski, I'll see you on Twitter, my friend. Thank you again, everybody, for popping in. Thank you for the super hearts. Budweiser, Jeffrey Cross, and Young Graf, Reezy 100. Thank you always for dropping those super hearts. The goal is to get to 100,000 super hearts, and it's getting there. And we appreciate all the support you guys do in the chat room by pumping those hearts. Adam Awesome, Budweiser, Jeffrey Cross, Bob Aruski, Peck and Rod, Mike Jones, Johnny Bones. That's Johnny Bones. Thank you again, man, for coming in here. Appreciate you coming in here. I know we didn't talk much about New Japan, but appreciate you popping in here. Mr. Andre, it's Dreyo, Maz Fan, Adam Downs, Jody Mania, everybody who I didn't mention, I'm sorry. Please say hello in the chat so I can give you a little shout out. The mechanic, everybody who came in here. With all the support you guys give us, it's unbelievable. Y'all make us do these shows every day, every week, weekly, every week. We appreciate you guys coming in here and supporting our show. Don't forget Tuesday. Hopefully we get a better Raw. Hopefully SmackDown is solid, and we'll touch on NXT TakeOver as well. Goes on to Thursday night. The main event just started on the UFC. Holy shit, man. Don't forget SmackDown Live, and then we'll touch on NXT TakeOver. Thursday, we roll into Impact Wrestling. And then Saturday, everybody, we got NXT TakeOver post-show, everybody. We'll be touching on that. Hopefully taking in some phone calls if you feel like calling in. And then Sunday is the big 2-year anniversary show. So, everybody, I hope you guys can join us next week because we are looking forward to it. So, great.
We're giving away.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Budweiser. Always great seeing you. Bob Ruski, Adam Downs, Jody, everybody who always pops in here every fucking show. I can't believe y'all. Y'all are awesome. Yes, Lucha Underground we'll touch on next Saturday as well. Thank you guys. Y'all rock. Y'all are amazing. You have an amazing community. Count you out. I'll probably touch a little bit on it. Y'all are awesome. Y'all it wouldn't be a show without you guys. Y'all are an awesome community. I love every single one of y'all who show up every night. Give us as much support as you can. If it's not through Super Hearts, it's just by pumping the screen. If it's not from pumping the screen, it's from you guys sitting here and interacting with everybody. So we appreciate everybody, welcoming everybody with opening arms. Again, we'll be back hopefully with all 4 of us on Tuesday. If not, it'll might be just Alex and I. We'll see. Hey, Turnbuckle Chick, how you doing tonight? Hope you're having a great Saturday evening. We're just about wrapping up the show. You came in just at the nick of time to everybody to say goodbye to everybody. We'll be live Tuesday night of next week. Yeah, we're glad you're back into the show. Hopefully, everybody follow Turnbuckle Chick. She has some nice interviews time to time. And is another local wrestling super broadcaster on Periscope. So, yep, she'll be live tomorrow, everybody. So stop by tomorrow and drop her some love, hearts, and follows if you're new to the show to her. Dave, any last thoughts before we end tonight's broadcast?
I suggest everyone, if you can find it somewhere, a stream, YouTube, go check out the main. I plan on watching the rest of it this week anyway, but man, go watch those last 2 matches. They were freaking phenomenal. Yeah. And you know what? Hats off to CM Punk. I'm not a big fan of his, but to go out there and last 3 rounds out there, even though it wasn't a great fight, but man, he went out there and did it. And if he does fight again, I mean, good luck to him. I think he needs a lot more practice, but that's just me. But I thought he did a great job. He looked good out there. Well, not really, but he lasted a lot longer. And you know what? It takes guts to go out there and get your ass kicked for 15 minutes.
Yes. We're not everybody is a big Punk supporter. You love him or hate him. Hate him because he's in MMA. Hate him how he left WWE. Whatever have you.
Yeah, but you know what? All honestly, when you watch him doing all these press for this fight that came on tonight, it made you kind of miss seeing CM Punk come out there on Monday Night Raw and cut these little interviews, you know? Because he was a great talker. and you see him talk and all this stuff. It kind of makes you miss him cutting those promos.
Yeah, definitely miss CM Punk in the WWE. That's for sure. So, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Thank you for the super hard love. Thank you for the regular hard love. If you happened to be new to the show and popped in and followed the show tonight, thank you for all the new followers. Thank you for the replay viewers. If you watched the replay, thank you very much for that. We're going to be signing off, everybody. I hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend. Should be interesting. No more NBA, pretty much no sports. It's baseball pretty much. And you got the World Cup coming up, and you got Raw Monday night, you got SmackDown Live Tuesday night, you got Impact Thursday night, we got NXT Saturday night, and it all wraps up and ends with the big old cherry on top with the Money in the Bank on Sunday night of next week, everybody. So I hope everybody has a great rest of the weekend. Yeah, I heard Punk is being kept overnight at the local hospital. Doesn't shock me, man. He took some pretty nasty hits to the face tonight.
Really quick.
Yo, Zero, man. He caught in right at the end of the show, my friend.
You know, one thing really quick at the very end, did you notice when Joe Rogan went to interview Mike Jackson, and they said, Punk, wait, I want to talk to you. Punk just walked right out.
Yeah, man, Rogan's a piece of shit towards Punk,
yeah, he's been talking a lot of shit about CM Punk the last few months or whatever you want to say. So why would he want to talk to him?
Exactly, man. I wouldn't want to talk to someone who's just been bashing me the whole fight.
Yeah, how funny would that have been if he would have won? Well, how would that interview have been?
Yeah. Yeah, Rogan, I respect Rogan, but tonight it was just him bashing Punk. And then, I respect him for what he's doing, but he fucking sucks is basically what he was saying. He fucking sucks, but I respect what he's doing. It's just, whatever, dude. So,
I mean,
it's all good, Zero. We'll see you probably next week as well. But thank you guys again for all the super hearts, all the follows, and the awesome support you show us every single week. Who hadn't had a crush on AJ Lee? Trust me. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube as well at Get the Tables Podcast on YouTube. And also, if you haven't already, on our Twitter at Get the Tables on Twitter. So thank you guys for the loyal support tonight. We'll be back with you guys on Tuesday night after SmackDown Live ends. And hopefully Raw and SmackDown are pretty solid go-home shows. So we have something to look forward to going into Money in the Bank. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Zero, for watching the replay later. And thank you, everybody, for the massive support you show us on our channel. And everybody, great community. I'm sorry. My bad. And y'all rock. Great night. Y'all have a good one because we want to see you on Tuesday, everybody. Y'all have a great Sunday. Thank you, everybody.